What's going on? What's going on to all my embracers? Thank y'all for coming out. I already got a full panel and I'm having kind of a little bit of technical difficulty. I don't know if I'm coming through my laptop or my phone. Can you guys hear me? Because I really don't know how to work this off of my phone. So bear with me. I'm trying to let you guys in. So give me just a second. I'm going to start adding people to the stage. I'm doing this all through my phone. Smitty, are you there? Because I don't see you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I guess it's gonna have to be on the phone on the phone tonight because something's acting up on the laptop. I'm still going to be in here and trying to manage the chat group and all that good stuff. So welcome everybody. Thank you for coming. I really do appreciate it. So if anybody who's never been to my show before, my name is Grace with Embrace the Grace, and over here we advocate for the men, and we have the uncomfortable, messy conversations because they're necessary. And I just want to say a disclaimer that I am not a licensed therapist. I am not a licensed psychiatrist. I am just an expert in life and the things that I've been through in life and the things that I've seen my friends, loved ones, and enemies go through in life. And we're just up here talking, trying to educate people and to hopefully evolve and become better versions of ourselves. So with that being said, I am going to introduce the panel, and I would like for you to tell everybody where we can find you and who you are. And as far as me, you can find me here every Thursday night on my channel, having great conversations with great gentlemen and great ladies. You on the JVJ network. You can find me on Intellectually Embracing Smitty's Corner on Saturday nights on my fam's channel on the Intellectual Soapbox. And please like and subscribe to each other's shows and get to know each other, because what I'm trying to do is create a buffet so all of us can eat. There's no I in team. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start with Gary D, my A1 co-host. Go ahead, you know the drill. Introduce yourself, tell people where we can find you. I'm still waiting for Smitty. And then I have a newcomer here, Mr. Stanley Joseph, and he's going to introduce himself. How you doing, Gary?
Hey, Grace, what's up? What's up? Good evening, everyone. I'm Gary D. I co-host here with Embrace the Grace, but I'm also CEO of Boardwalk Global Media, a boutique podcasting company. We have a couple of podcasts that we do every week. We've been on hiatus for a while, but we'll be back in 2024, early 2024. One of our main podcasts is called The Real Discussion. You could find us on all platforms. under either Boardwalk Global Media or The Real Discussion. And that's it. I send it back to Grace.
Okay, and Stanley, welcome. Thank you for coming. I really, really do appreciate it. Introduce yourself. Let people know where we can find you if you have a channel. And Smitty, real quick, the show was changed to 8:30. I don't know if you realize that. So I appreciate you sitting in here for 20 minutes, but it was changed to 8:30. So Stanley, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, Grace. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So what brings you in here tonight? You finally decided to come up?
No, I just saw the thing, so I was like, okay, let me go ahead and see what's up and say hi. And I could do 30 minutes and be on. So I'm like, yeah, let me go ahead and do this. And it's great, working with you finally. And I like what you said, like, for you to say, like, even your enemies, like, I'm like, wow, like, you really do have grace.
Oh, thank you. Because you know what? You learn a lot from your enemies. You learn what not to do and what to do and how to stay away from them and how to respond to them. So, and you have to pray for your enemies.
Now, which kind of pray? Pray or Prey?
That's funny. That's funny. Smitty, you are on. Hold on a second. I'm gonna get you in. Give me 1 second. Let me get him in. There we go. Hold on. Are you in? I'm telling you guys, I'm
Yep, I
learning.
see him. He's there.
Okay, perfect. All right.
What's up to Gary D? Gary, what's up? Smitty, what's happening, Smitty?
Go ahead and introduce yourself because you're up, sir. Introduce yourself. Let us know where you are, where we can find you, so we can get started on this topic.
All right, my name is Stan Joseph. I am on the way all the way from Florida, aka the Hidden South, aka the other Latin country, aka Jurassic Park. And I now live in California. So you can find me on Instagram, Big Herc 510, BIGHERC F1. Wait, F10. And also you can find me on these are channels I've been on: Knowledge and Relationships, Intellectual Soapbox,
Yeah.
The Love Experience with Lola, Miss Oshun, Be Easy That Dude, his network, and also Bitter Cut Media with Dion Evans. I started 10 years with him on RMG Radio, and thanks to him, I learned so much. And look at me now, making my rounds on podcasts. I don't have a podcast of my own yet. I'm just busy with family and just enjoying raising the little one and seeing how she just growing up in front of me, and just every year at wonder and just at all, like, wow. So this is what I've gone through, huh?
It goes fast. I can't believe mine is graduating next year, and he'll be 18 in April. So, like, before you blink, it'll pass by you. So enjoy every moment, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is my first year skipping the toy aisles because she don't play with toys no more.
Mm.
It's like, I used to be a pro at this.
Right. True, I see your comment about I gotta upgrade my laptop, and you're absolutely right. So we can all start by donating to the channel. Hashtag Embrace the Grace 23. I do have a laptop fund, so for all my A1s and the ones that have been embracing me, every little bit helps. Trust me, and I will catch them after Christmas sales. So it's in the works. True, trust me. 2024, I'm gonna soar, and that's my motto for next year. All right, Smitty, you up at bat, dear. Tell us who you are, where we can find you, how you doing tonight.
All right, respect to you. Smitty, I feel wonderful. Any day that I wake up, there are no complaints. You can find me here every Thursday with the lovely Embrace the Grace. You can also catch me on Saturdays over with Soapbox on Intellectually Embracing Smitty's Corner. And other than that, you can find me anywhere where you can catch solitude and peace. I digress. My mic is muted. Rock out.
Awesome, awesome. So, guys, this topic came about because of me. I actually sometimes forget that y'all men have emotions and real feelings because I'm so busy in my feelings and my emotions. I don't forget often because again, I'm an advocate for men and I know what y'all been through and go through and are going to go through. And that's why I'm here because I want to make women understand and realize that y'all are humans too. And I forget very few and far between, but there's women that constantly forget. And they constantly forget that you guys are humans too. You're not robots. You're not machines. You know, you guys pump blood just like we do. You have a heart. You have thoughts. You have minds. You have emotions, and you have feelings. The only thing is that we need to learn more of as ladies is that men and women move, think, and feel differently. There's no wrong and there's no right. No gender is more wrong or more right. We are just different. And we need to embrace the differences rather than trying to change our men. It's not fair to act now. If we want to change, if they want to change for the better and evolve, that's something different. But if you knew your man was a sports dude when you first met him, don't try to stop him from watching the game and going out with his boys. That's not fair and it's not right. If you don't like sports, then get into sports. Make pretend you like it. If you can't beat him, join him if he's worth it to you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And the topic tonight is hold on, I got one more guest trying to come up, and I know he was gonna come up. Hold on, can you guys see him?
No,
No.
no.
True Table, he's trying to come up. He'll come up soon. Okay, so tonight's topic is: do men get their hearts broken? I want to know, and my lady embracers want to know. And I want to thank everybody that responded to my post on Facebook. I wrote down every single response so I can put it on this show so the ladies can see what the men are talking about, because I'm always preaching that the only way we're going to learn about men is from men. We're not going to learn about men from Big Mama, from your auntie down the street, from grandma, from your best friend, your single girlfriends. The only way we are really going to learn how men operate is from other men. And I'm not talking about the Pookies and the Ray Rays. I'm talking about the kind of men that are on my panel right now, who are well-rounded, educated, have some damn sense, and are open to be vulnerable and learn on my channel. So with that being said, I'm going to go around the panel. I mean, of course, you know, I'm going to ask you this, and we're going to start from Smitty, because Smitty is my twin and we tend to ride the same wave and frequency a lot. Smitty, have you ever had your heart broken? And you don't have to get into a lot of detail because I know this is personal information. But have you ever had your heart broken? And just give us the Cliff Notes version of how you felt and what you were going through and how you got past it. Because again, a lot of us women forget that y'all actually are breathing humans and have emotions and feelings. You know what I'm saying? We just think that y'all just good for money and dick. You know, and there's so much more to you guys. So come on, Smitty, talk to me.
Ah, man. Um, Having my heart broken, yes. Okay. It was, it was, it was, it was with my first, right? Um, that was the only woman I would say that had the capability to truly break this man down. Primarily because, I was with her fresh out of high school. Um, Only woman I have a child with, things of that nature. So when things went south, and then on top of that, I had to hear that news in the worst place that you can hear that news, and that's while incarcerated. So I was one of them guys who had to go back to the cell and punch the wall, right? So I know thoroughly what a broken heart consists of. Um, More than anything, I learned so much from that. I uh, I truly, truly built what I would consider an unpenetrable resilience. Does that mean that I don't feel and I can't love again? No, absolutely not. I'm actually totally in that process as we speak, right? Things are going beautiful. I just recognize that once upon a time, I needed to be broken in such a way in order to never to have to be fixed again. So I get it now, you see? And it's a large reason why I even have the sternness and the demeanor that I have today. Like, like when you go through a certain amount of pain, it ain't too much other pain that can really mess with you too tough. So I don't let too much get to me no more. But definitely what I really appreciate about the whole experience more than anything is that it hasn't made me callous to loving again. I'm fully, fully capable of truly loving again, which I would say I'm in the process of now. And I just have more wisdom behind it, and I'm able to act on it, walk in it, and actually be it. So I digress. My mic is muted. Rock out.
Thank you for that. I know it's not easy for y'all men to be vulnerable and talk about your experiences, but to me, that's an honor. I take it as a privilege. The fact that you can come up on my platform and be vulnerable, that means something to me. To a lot of women, it don't, because they don't even recognize that their man is being vulnerable with them. And then not only do they not recognize that, then you guys do the most fatal thing that you can do to a man is bring up that bullshit in a heated argument when a man broke down and was vulnerable with you and you used that against him. Ladies, I am going to tell you tonight, stop doing that bullshit, because stop asking yourselves then, well, why doesn't he talk to me? Why doesn't he tell me things? You know why? Because of how you behave after the fact. So what he's doing? He's either telling the work wife, he's talking to his homies, oh, he got the side chick. So I'm if I'm not dropping any gems tonight to my lady embracers, stop doing that. Do you think that I'm gonna come out here when my gentlemen on the panel open up themselves up and be vulnerable and throw that shit in their face or clip them or do something stupid like that? Why? They took enough trust and felt secured enough to talk to me about that. Sorry, gentlemen, I had to put that in there because I know that that's one of the gravest things that as us women, and I'm not a saint, everybody. I used to do that bullshit too. So I learned not to do that. I learned to value it. So true, I finally got you on the screen. Thank you for coming. Go ahead and introduce yourself. I appreciate you streaming the show through my show. I appreciate that. Let us know where we can find you. Introduce yourself and go ahead and finish and rock out and answer the question. Have you ever had your heart broken? How did you feel? And how did you get through it? Go ahead, True.
What's going on, world? Yes, I'm Daniel Rucker with True Table. Thank you for having me. You can find me on all major platforms, same name, True Table, Instagram, YouTube. Pretty much my approach to this space is to continue to support men. And that's why I try to share the space with Grace as she allows me to. Great topic. Definitely caught my attention. I'm like, oh, I can go on this one for a long time. Have I ever had my heart broken? Absolutely not. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because as Smitty had done such an eloquent job of conveying his experience without detail, and that's
Mm-hmm.
I too have been disrespected. Absolutely. I don't think any man on the planet has not had a rustle and tussle with a young lady on a disrespectful exchange. However, based on the title, do men get their heart broken? I don't think it's capable to get a man's heart. I don't think it's capable for men to get their hearts broken. And I'll tell you why. I think that as men, we go through a maturation process. Now, as a little boy, when you're trying to learn how to relegate and maneuver in this world, you often walk through life with an exposed emotional, presentation. So you're unregulated. You're like a little puppy. Go around, you're humping and pissing and doing all kinds of extra stuff. But once you start strapping on the title of man, I don't think it's possible for any woman, if we're talking about relationships in that space, to break your heart. Because by the time you align yourself with manhood, you should have already recognized the nature of women as a whole, and understanding that what comes with them is the elements, like you said, Grace, the mouth, the attitude, the immaturity, and number one, they're going to try to push boundaries. It's just the nature of women. So I think that any man that has a good vantage point, enough experience, will arrive at the point that it is impossible for her, whoever she is, I can love her, cherish her, to break me and break my heart. I don't think it's possible. But I digress.
Okay, I can respect that. I mean, you didn't even use the word. I picked up on that, True. You didn't even use the word heartbroken. You used the word disrespectful, and I get it. I get it. You are a hard nut to crack, and that's because and you know what? I have to respect that. Not because you're being an asshole. It's because you are well rounded. You are well educated. You have traveled the world and you know your worth. And that's the difference between a man that talks like you and somebody that talks recklessly. We disagree a lot, but we know how to disagree. We know how to disagree respectfully. Okay. Oh, and by the way, True, and I'm woman enough to admit it, I lost that battle with the gray sweatpants. Okay. Hey, he was like, nah, I'm not gonna stop wearing my gray sweatpants, but I will wear them properly if that bothers you. So, because we do talk about the shows, we do talk about how I talk about how you and me talk. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, no, you can't tell me what I can and cannot wear, but I do know how to wear them due to the fact that I know what I'm working with and how women are out there. And now that you've communicated to me how you feel, I've been wearing them correctly anyway. So I just want to let you know that, True, that I had to sit in that in your conversation and then in his conversation right after the show. So I lost that battle. It is, but it is what it is. I will lose the battle gracefully. Okay. So with that being said, okay, Gary D, how you doing, sir? You up to bat?
Hey Grace, when you get finished, I would like to I would like to holler at Brother True. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I want to
absolutely.
holler at Brother True.
Write it down. Write it down. Okay, Gary, it's your turn. Have you ever in your lifetime had your heart broken? Give us the Cliff version. We don't need to get to the nitty gritty. And how did you get past it and push through it?
So I wouldn't call it getting my heart broken. I mean, it was earlier, maybe about, I don't know, my early 20s. I would say I was very hurt. But something similar to what Smitty said. That was the only time, right? So, there's some people that they got to go through something over and over and over again. Like, I'm not that person. Like, if I'm, something just has to happen to me once, especially if it's dealing with my emotion, then that's it. You're not going to get that close again. So that was my learning that was my learning experience. And the reason why um, I think I let that happen was because growing up, I always heard my mom always talking about how, you know, her and my uh, aunts and stuff like that always talking bad about men. So here it is, I get a chance to, have, I guess, a girlfriend that I think that I'm doing the right thing with, and I did, and I wind up getting hurt, and I'm like, wow, here it is, I did all the right thing, then I wind up getting hurt, and from that point on, it's like I was like, nah, I'm not doing it like this anymore, and spoke with one of my uncles, and he obviously dropped some jewels, and that was it, right? So, to answer your question, there, no, I just got hurt. I think we all do, but as far as heartbroken, like True said, nah, it never got to that point. It doesn't get to that point. Like, and it never,
Okay.
and at the and it never will.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. You know what I'm saying? All right, Stanley, you up, sir.
Yes.
Have you ever had your heart broken? How did again, not without not getting into too much detail, what happened and how did you get pass through it?
I'm going to say yes. It was the worst experience ever. Um, I thought this was the one. I was in my 20s. I thought this was going to be the one. We talked about having kids, me dropping out of school. And then after that, we just broke up. And it took like 6 months. And I have to say, that started my villain arc. That's when I like, man, nobody gets my heart. I just dropped the R&B music. And man, I'm like, what I listened to after that, it was Ice Cube, DMX, 50 Cent. Because every time I went out, it was like, Stan gonna give it to you. That's me. I went in. And the older I get, the more I just learned lessons from my 20s, my 30s, and my 40s. And definitely my 40s, where I've learned to not let women into my community. Because they will go in and just want to destroy your relationships with other people. So what I've learned from that is like, yo, no. And I know women gonna say, who hurt you? And my only response to any woman that gonna say this is always this: are you gonna heal me, boo? And the answer is no. And you're gonna be all right. So my villain arc is just my villain arc. I don't trust. And you're gonna be okay because you're gonna have some fun. And I keep your arm distance. And it's all good. Oh, and shout out to the side chicks and the work wives. I appreciate you because you be saving our lives and you be showing us some real love and gratitude. So I just want to say thank you.
What's going on, Smitty? I think you said you wanted to ask something.
Go ahead, Smitty.
Hey, shit. Nah, man, shout out to Stan. He always bringing it. Shit. Okay. Cool beans. Cool beans. I thank you for that, brother. I needed that. All right. So, true. So, men being incapable of having their hearts broken. Okay. Um, would you say that us as men would be the type that always make sure that when it comes to truly a relationship, like we can have fun dogging a hose, right? But when it comes to a relationship, would you say that most men definitely put their best foot forward and put our all into it?
You're talking about a woman you respect.
Yes, the woman that you see of quality. Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Would you also say that men definitely make sure that that we guard ourselves nowadays, because there have been too many times where we have exposed how we truly feel and what we're really thinking, and that's just thrown right back in our face. Would you say that's something that's taking place?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So moving forward with that, right? Um, we do too much to be disrespected and dogged, right? And honestly, to imply that a man cannot have his heart broken, it works against us, and it works against everything that we advocate when we talk about what real men consist of when it comes to how we can treat a woman. Okay. Um, to say that we can't have our heart broken is to say that we're very primitive. That's to say that, really honestly, how can you hoes, or how can something that I really do not value break my heart?
I
To
think
imply, let me, I
go ahead.
got you.
Yeah.
Respect, brother. To imply that we cannot have our hearts broken is to imply, honestly, that we cannot love, that we do not have the capabilities of feeling such a deep, heartfelt emotion, right? So to land it, I got you. We're gonna go back and forth. I got you, respectfully. Um, I'm just saying that to say a man can't have his heart broken, and I don't know if you caught the part. This is what I wanted to add in. When I was talking about my experience, I was saying that this woman was basically my first. You know, I didn't lose my virginity till I was 20, and I was to the mother of my child. And from there, we were together for about 12 years. Bruh, I promise you, my heart was broken. I was truly like, that shit broke me down all the way. And that's why I say no pain like that can ever inflict again. I'm like, it's like that tolerance has been built from there. So that's why I got the sternness, and I'm able to move in such the light in which I do at this point, right? So I just wanted to get your take on that. I digress. My mic is muted. Rock out.
Okay, so the way I'll respond to that without making it personal about you, the way I came to my thoughts on men not being able to have their heart broken is understanding the maturation from boyhood to manhood. And if I believe that I'm aware of what the job of a man is to do, it is to expand upon himself, is to leave a legacy, and is to employ a woman that you deem worthy of that. Love from a man to a woman is completely different. And the reason why most men, just for sake of words, feel that they've been heartbroken is because they spend an abundance amount of time in an adolescent emotional state. When you understand what you are here for, you start to understand that what you apply in a relationship is very different than what that woman applies in a relationship. This is not meaning that she cannot infect an emotional response. This does not mean that she cannot disappoint you or let you down. But to say that a man can have his heart broken, I would say that that man is not in a position that he understands what his job is on this earth. When you have a relationship, my brother, it is your relationship. It is never her relationship. So if her to break your heart, this means that somehow, some way, she was able to provide a position of superiority to infect that. If she operates out of instruction, if she operates out of what has been expected of her, then we deal with it accordingly. But to say that a woman broke my heart means that I gave her something that I entrusted her with from an emotional place. And I just don't believe that men operate in that manner. That does not mean that you don't love. I think what messes us up, especially here in the Western Hemisphere, is that we think love is Disney. We think love is over affirmation and roses. Those are just elements of displaying. Love from a man is protection. Love from a man is instruction. When a man tells his kid, his wife, this is what I need you to do. Same thing we had in the conversation about the gray pants. I am instructing you because you're my responsibility. I'm instructing you because I need things to work in order for my vision that was here before you got here to unfold. So there's no way, in my opinion, as a man, that a woman is powerful enough to break your heart. if you are operating and understanding why she's there, why you're there. But I'll digress and we can unfold it from there.
No, I mean, absolutely respect to that. I mean, I applaud you. Definitely wonderful, wonderful YouTube talking points. When you're talking about once you step out of these boxes and you're into the real world, it's not realistic and it doesn't work that way. All right. It sounds real, real strong. It sounds real, real awesome. That's not real life. Okay. The fact is this, any man that gets with a woman that's truly of quality and worth, that man is going to have to do something called compromise. And to keep on putting ourselves in this, headspace of, no, it's no, I am higher, you're lower. Listen, the fact is this. Yes, the king does make the decisions, but the thrones are next to each other. That queen is also of good counsel. I think men keep on forgetting that.
Well,
We do have women in our lives to be of good counsel. Now, when you say as far as that you can't have your heart broken, I'm gonna tell you right now, my mother broke my heart one day. When our relationship went sour before it got good, when I was out there on the streets, when I was messing up and not living right on life, when I was in my early 20s. That shit broke my heart when I heard my mother say what she said to me that I will not repeat. All right. I don't care if it's your woman. I don't care if it's your daughter, your grandmother, auntie, female cousin. All right. The women in our lives, because honestly, let's just be for real. Why do we do all the very masculine things that we do for the most part? Again, it's not for us. I'm talking about from stunting, showing out. We say it all the time. So why we get the haircuts we get? Why do we drive the cars we drive? Why do we dress in the clothes and the style in which we do? Because we want women to be attracted to us, not other niggas. Period. So my point is that when you keep on talking about something, you're supposed to know your place and everything else. Yeah, I know that my place is to provide, and at the same time, from me seeing from men before me, the reward is supposed to be at bare minimum the appreciation. And so for you to sit there and to basically kind of tell me or any other man out here, yeah, I mean, you just supposed to know your place. So, when that bullshit happens, I mean, as a man, you just supposed to take that and roll with the punches. You got me fucked up.
Let me ask you a question.
Because we keep on having to think that men are supposed, because you know what that does? It puts men back into that mental headspace of something that's very, very dangerous, and that's called depression.
Well,
and that's something a lot of folks don't want to talk about, bruh.
Let me ask you a question, because I have not shared any experience of having the heartbreak as you speak to. How would you describe heartbreak? Since it is
listen. I can tell you right now, respectfully, if you say you've never experienced heartbreak, then you've never experienced true love at that point. So I'm gonna be real with you. That's something that you can't explain that. You only know it once you've experienced it, bro. I can't explain to you what such a phenomenon is like.
And that's why, when I'm, again, respectfully, and to anyone listening, I'm not speaking from a place of being insensitive. I'm very human, just like you are, my brother. I'm not a robot. But I think that there's certain things that me personally and men around me have understood position. When you're saying that I'm speaking like this because it's YouTube, no, this is how I am in real life. And there's a reason why.
I didn't say you weren't. I'm just telling you that shit don't work in real life.
I disagree, because I can tell you the reason why I believe.
Is it successfully working for you right now?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you why. Because most men still think that the relationship is hers. Most men think that I'm validated if I land a relationship. I'm going to tell you, my brother, that is wrong. The relationship is always the man's, because we're the seed.
Who said it's hers? At what point did I say that?
No, not you. This is not you personally.
Okay. But I mean, I want you to address what I'm saying, because I'm the one speaking to you. So I need you to respond to what I'm saying, because I didn't say that.
Okay. And I didn't say that you said it. I'm saying that, I'm saying that society has a tendency to promote that. And that's wrong. And the reason why a lot of times we have contention with our female counterparts is because you have men thinking that I'm supposed to apply in this position of a relationship the same way. You're not.
How do you know we don't have the contingencies based upon men who actually have this type of headspace, and then thus it doesn't balance out? You know, one thing that I can tell you right now, look, watch this. And I say it all the time, and this is so real, dog. My mother made way more than my dad. My mother made well over 100 stacks a year. My father was just a little bit under it, right? If you came into my parents' household, you would never, ever know that my mother made more than my father. But guess what? Simultaneously, you would never hear my dad talking that manly, my thought is better, none of that bullshit. That man just operated as a functioning husband. He was consistent. He was well sufficient, and he was definitely compromising. The number one thing as to why my parents, I believe, are still together to this very day is because they compromised. Didn't nobody say nothing about the man, you as the man giving the relationship to the woman. I simply said it comes down to a compromise.
Well, let me
That
speak.
whole, listen, hold on, because let me just land it right here, respectfully, dog. Because a lot of dudes get to talk in this type of way in these spaces, my nigga, and it's like a lot of men, they don't really have it all the way to maybe function in the full capacity in which you are explaining. So you'll have dudes out here who will hear what you say and they go about that shit the wrong way and they have fucked themselves over. Because they're going about things in a real hardcore headspace that really ain't real. Like, first and foremost, like I say all the time, tell me, please, somebody, do you hear 304 in the street? Do you hear Pookie and Ray Ray in the street? Or is it only, well, listen, I don't know who you niggas hang with. I hear none of these sayings in the real life. And I'm trying to tell you right now, as somebody who thoroughly understands how this shit works, I promise you, dog, a lot of them talking points is not valid. It don't work. It don't hold up. And I promise you, it only leaves men who really want to have relationships lonely. Just like we talk about the women that can hit the wall, I promise you, my nigga, it's certain things that we can do to put ourselves in a pit hole too.
Okay, and I appreciate what you're saying. Let me respond in this way because you used the word compromise, and I'm trying to speak to where it's not directed at you solely, but we are on a panel, so I'm speaking.
My nigga, you can talk to me. It's all love, my G. It's all love. Talk to me. I'm the one talking to you, so talk to me directly.
I am. Now, the reason why I speak the way I speak is because I do understand what you just said. There is a ton of men who may misconstrue what I say, may even misconstrue what you say. So I try to keep it very simple. Words like compromise, in most cases, in all the exchanges I've had with women all over the span of my life, the things I've heard, it is misconstrued what that word even means. Compromise, in my opinion, is where you are allowing her, the relationship that you've established with her, for her to apply input, things like, are we going to eat Mexican food or Chinese food? That's not compromise. But what I tend to hear women say compromise is, I'm here, just like Grace started this panel saying, I'm here to change you. See, somehow, some way, we need their help to be men. I disagree. You can only produce men from men. So a lot of the times where this relationship, men have to start asking themselves why they want a relationship in the first place. That's first and foremost. What is her purpose? Why is she necessary? And if most of the time when I've asked men this in real life, they have no answer because they've been told that they are validated once this happens. I'm here to disagree with that. That's not true. So when I say I don't understand how a man can have his heart broken, is because prior to the relationship showing up, my brother, you should already have worked out yourself to a degree. Will a relationship expand you? Absolutely. Will a relationship make you a more optimal man? Absolutely. Because there's certain things, like you said, you have to be present in order to even experience and explain. But I have been in tons of relationships, very successful ones, in my opinion, because we were both able to share the space. We were both able to grow and learn, and they just didn't mature to the highest level of marriage at this point. What I can tell you is that most of the time when that has happened, these same women have told me that they have not met men because most guys, most males representing as men, do not even know how to lead themselves.
Okay. True. Would you say, all right, and then because we got people that have popped
Sure,
up, salute
sure.
Wally Soap, you know what I'm saying, all day. Listen, let me ask you this. Would you say that, all right, what would you say it takes in order for a person to have their heart broken? What stage of feelings must a person reach in order to truly have their heart broken?
I would say that person has to be at a state of vulnerability where they believe that the person that they're, I guess, exchanging love with is incapable of hurting them, letting them down, or bringing any type of discomfort. Because when I've heard heartbreak explained to me, it always sounds like someone is expecting a person to be inhuman. They're expecting a person to not violate them in the manner that they were violated. And when I originally started my soliloquy was, there are just certain things as a man you understand. You understand the sun rises and sets. When you're dealing with people,
True.
yeah. Go
Hey,
ahead.
good evening. Can I say something?
Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah,
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. I
Welcome,
digress.
DJ
My mic
Sting.
is muted. Go
yeah,
ahead,
man.
rock out.
Welcome.
I'll talk to you in a minute. We got other people up on the panel. Y'all go ahead, get to it.
Yeah, man. I tune in and I listen what's going on about the relationship thing. All right, compromise is a good thing, right? But you have female and it goes to the man too in a relationship. People nowadays, they want you to think for them. They want you to read their mind. It's like you live with a female and she have a bad day at work. All right, she have her mind on something. She expect her partner supposed to read her mind. No, it's all about communication. That's one of the main thing in a relationship. If you don't communicate with each other, yes, relationship going down in the gutter. So communication and compromise, those two things work together.
Absolutely. And DJ Sting, thank you for coming. Let me go ahead and bring up fam Wally. Thank you for coming up. I didn't know that. I read what you wrote in the chat. So did you have anything to add to this or anything to talk about, Wally? And I will get to the comments because there's a lot of good comments there that I have to go through. Then I like what Trisha says. She said, "My thoughts, I think men love different, so they hurt in different ways." That makes sense. But then we're going to compare it to what Travel One said. But go ahead, Wally. Talk your shit.
No shit talk for me. But look, hey, what's going on with everybody here? So as far as do men have heartbreaks? I would naturally agree to the idea premise of what True is saying. I'll also agree with some of the things that Smitty was saying. But but mostly I would agree with what True saying, because I'll say this, right? I'll speak from this idea perspective, right? You know how they say, like, in the quote of the good book, right? They'll sit here and say, no weapon formed against me shall prosper, right? So if that's the case, then technically, in any formality of however this heartbreak were to be created, none of that can really form against you to really prosper and really target your heart to be heartbroken, quote unquote, may speak, right? Now, am I saying that is non-present? No, I'm not saying it's non-present, because I would sit here and say that I would sit here and say it's more so, I wouldn't say heartbroken. I would sit here and say, were you in a battle of just an emotional, transaction in a way? That's what I'll sit here and say. If you're in a battle of emotional transaction, because there was something amongst you that you once had or once dealt with other people. Like, for instance, what Smitty was saying, right? A situation with his mother and what she had said to him, which made him feel some type of way, which sort of just, crushed him in his heart, per se, right? So I think it's more of that type of pull for me. So when I think about, like, the idea of heartbroken is just, I just don't see it that way. I think mostly, I say it like this: in life, you constantly keep building yourself up to a lot of things, right? And one thing about life, in anything, in any situation you think about, eventually you got to get back up and try again. So regardless of the battles that you ever deal with, regardless of the proposable heartbreaks that you dealt with, life still keeps on moving. So you always got to go past those things. Those things that happen to you, eventually they have to wither away for you to constantly push forward. So yeah, that's my stance on it.
Can I ask you a question?
Ask a question.
The way he talking, right? The question I want to ask: do you believe love is still out there same way, or is us spirit tech, or is us emotional? Do you believe love is out there same way? When someone says, "Oh, they're journeying in love,"
Are you asking me? Is that a general question?
yeah, I'm asking you that question, and
He asking you, Wally.
anybody can answer the question too, but because you touch a topic, I'm asking you to.
All right. Okay. So do I still believe in love? Yeah. But the problem is with that is, like most things, is a hard thing to find. And a lot of us haven't did enough digging to be able to obtain it.
All right. What I see out there now in a relationship, I don't think love is there. Is emotional and spirit. Emotional, people think with their emotional and people act with their emotional. Like for instance, it goes both ways. Jealousness come in emotional. It don't come because of love. Jealousy come because emotional. Ladies, pan all, they have strong emotional a lot more than man, right? You can just simple like maybe running a joke or say something and they get in their feelings, them getting emotional and those stuff, right? Ladies behave as emotional. And the next thing too, when I come to jealousy, I don't think a guy is supposed to out there jealous, right? Because why you gonna be jealous and those things of ignorant think like, okay, you see a guy with your female, you come in one day and see a man, with your female at home or whatever, and then you start think out of the box, you're gonna hurt him or whatever. You hurt him, you there behind bars, and he's out there free with your female, same way, or your female finds somebody else while you behind bars locked up. It make no sense. So into a relationship, it best you have an open mind and expect anything to happen.
Thank you for that, DJ Sting. Let me go ahead and bring up my fam soap. It's getting juicy. I got an active chat group. Thank you for everybody who was in here from different channels. I really do appreciate it. And I know that's all the support from Smitty and Soap and True and Wally. And just thank you. I'm trying to get to 500 subs by the end of the year. So please help me with that. So you saw the title. You saw the thumbnail. You've heard the gentleman talk on the panel. Talk to me. Do you believe that men can get their hearts broken? Give me a Clifford version if you've ever been through that, and how did you get past it? And when he's done talking, guys, I haven't even gotten into the educational side of what heartbroken is, but there's a couple comments we got to address in the chat too. But go ahead, fam. What say you? I know you've been sitting there. You've been sitting. I can feel it.
It's all about the game and how you play it. I'm sorry. Man, Smitty, man, leave people alone, Smitty, man. You know what I mean? Smitty been hanging around me, you, and Lola too much, man. That's the problem. He been hanging around us too much, man. Don't stop doing it.
What?
And salute to Miss Polly, salute to everybody that just pulled up. Salute to Wally.
Hi.
I mean, salute to everybody who's on the panel, man. If I don't know all y'all by name, salute to Gary. Smitty, you already know. Grace, you already know. They got to check me and Smitty and Grace out on Saturday too. We definitely gonna be live and direct Saturday night. You already know. Okay, I think the problem is this, right? Do men get their hearts broken? Of course, but I think this is I always cover from both bases because this is who I am. I think people get their hearts broken because you're not trained on how to date and how to be out there and what to look out for, right? So there's two different types of people that's out here, right? There's people who are dating and they're actually trying to find somebody They're actually trying to be with somebody, and they're actually trying to foster relationships, right? They actually want to build with somebody. They want to build a family. They want to find a mate. You know what I mean? They want to have kids and all that. You know, picket fence, everything, right? You know what I mean? Build a legacy, build generational wealth, things of that nature, right? But if you're gonna be out here doing that, you have to look out for that second person, right? And the second person that's out here are people that's playing the game. Okay. All right, y'all done seen the movies How to Be a Player, all these different type of movies. Like these things are real. This is not fake. Okay, there are people out here really playing the game. All right, there's women who got men and they phone as lunch. Right, there's men who got women and they phone as side chick or whatever. You know what I'm saying, or a nickname or whatever.
That's true.
That's the game. You know what I mean? So when you out here and if you really dating with real pure intentions, right, you gotta look out for the wolves. And the wolves are the people in the game. You know what I mean? So you got to learn the game as well. If you don't learn the game, you're going to get towed up out here. I'm telling you that right now. You're going to get towed completely up. You know what I mean? Even if you in the game, you got to know that you got, like Stan was saying, because Stan is in the game, right? Stan is a perfect example. You got to be heartless when you're in the game. You can't have no heart. You know what I mean? Because you're in the game. You know what I mean? Being in the game is like damn near being a criminal. You know what I mean? You got to damn near be kind of like soulless because you know that it's all about what you want. And if you're out here to just get money or just to, get some sex or whatever, then that's what it's going to be. So that's how the game rolls. It's all about money and sex. That's it. You know what I mean? How can I get money to sex? How can I get money and sex from this person as fast as possible? And sometimes it comes with other things too. Sometimes people want cars and homes and sneakers. I know it used to be a big thing back in the days. I used to hang around a lot of dudes that was in the game, and they used to always brag about how women used to buy them sneakers. That was a big thing. Oh man, she done bought me all the sneakers this year. Know what I mean? Yeah, she not really paying her rent like that, but man, she makes sure I got sneakers. You know what I mean? So when you're in the game, you gotta have a certain mindset. And women are the same way. You know what I mean? I done heard women brag about, oh, this dude, he always get my nails done. He always get my hair done. You know what I mean? Yeah, he know I got a man, or yeah, he know I mess with so-and-so, or I live with so-and-so, but yeah, I could call him anytime. He gonna take care of this. Hell, he'll even fight for me. You know what I mean? So that's how the game is, right? So you got to be privy to the game, no matter what side you stand on. You know what I mean? So, of course, when you're not privy to the game, that's where the heartbreak come in. Because you get out here and you're thinking that somebody's on the same wavelength as you, and they're not. You know what I mean? They are totally not. You know what I'm saying? Like they playing on the other side of the field. You know what I mean? They on that other side. They doing something different. They part of the game. So you get in and you're like, oh, I really care about them and I really love them and I want to build with them. They're like, nah, man, I'm just trying to get what I can get. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is. And they'll lie to you and they'll sell you a dream and they'll tell you, okay, if you be in a relationship with me for this long, this is gonna happen. And they'll tell you all this stuff. They'll never do anything that they say. They're just gonna charm you. They're gonna make you believe a false narrative. You know what I'm saying? It'll never be brought up by action. You know what I mean? And they may do little nice things for you here and there. They may get you a little gift, or they may get you a little something nice here and there. They may buy you a plate of food, but they're not really gonna invest in you. They're not really gonna put their names on no documents. They're not gonna be part of no bank accounts. They're not gonna be on the lease and like they're not doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? They're not really gonna put in on real investment because they playing the game. They're looking for the next move. You're only there for temporary satisfaction, and then they're moving on to the next.
But not all of us are like that. Not all of us.
No, I'm not saying everybody's like that. I'm saying there's two different types of people. There are people who are part of the game, and there's people who really dating with pure intentions.
Okay.
But let me land it here, right? When you date with pure intentions, you gotta look for spaces and places where people who date with pure intentions are gonna be at. Okay? People who date with pure intentions, they're not probably gonna hang out in a bar or hang out in a club or hang out, you know what I mean, in certain areas or certain neighborhoods or whatever. You know what I mean? You gotta put yourself in spaces and places, or even dating apps too. If you're on them dating apps, dating apps are about people who only, just smoking weed and drinking and doing a whole bunch of other bullshit. Then you know what type of time it is. Know what I mean? Take your ass to Christian Mingle or some shit like that. Know what I mean?
The heathens over there too. The heathens over there too.
Wait, hold on. I'm just saying.
Why you just say Christian Mingle? You know you out of pocket. Come on now.
Hold on. I'm keeping it G. your results will probably be better because those are people who actually are looking for somebody that's actually they're willing to be with. So maybe you need to go to a library, maybe you need to go to a church, maybe you need to go to a party where there's a dress code, right? There's a dress code, there's an age limit. You know what I mean? People are actually, professionals. You know what I mean? So they actually looking to build with somebody. You know what I mean? Maybe go to one of them shindigs where all the corporate people meet at, and they're trying to get to know each other and mingle or whatever. Go to one of those. But if you're going to a turn-up location where people are twerking and drinking and doing types of like, that's what it's going to be. That's what it's for. So put yourself in an atmosphere where your results should be better. I'm not saying that it's always going to work, but I'm just saying you're going to avoid a lot of bullshit if you avoid the bullshit places, whether it's certain dating apps or certain locations. I'm just going to keep it real. And that's it. I'm playing in.
Okay. I'm gonna address this comment and then I'm gonna introduce Miss Polly. Travel One says women are the prize. The man has to recognize that for himself and work on himself for healing to trust again. Bitterness is a destroyer. Okay. Then I asked her, why does she feel that way? So Travel One, I'm going to end, but by the way, thank you for coming. Thank you for putting all the BS to the side and really participating, because I really feel now that you're up in here trying to see a new way of things. I'm not responsible for changing people's mindset, but I do love for people to see other perspectives. First of all, you got to understand that we are not the prize. The man is the prize. The man was made first. The man was made in God's image. He has to find you. You're the one that has to be ready. You're the one that has to be the good wife, wife. He that findeth a wife, it doesn't say she. He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. They have to find us. They're the ones that ask us to get married. We have access to sex, but we don't get married until we're asked to get married. Okay, so that's why I'm going to have to respectfully disagree, because if anybody knows me, I'm always saying the order of operations is the children belong to the women, the women belong to the men, and the men belong to God. The next best thing to God is the man. And I know that's a lot and hard for women of nowadays, modern women, to recognize. But come on, we have to see that because of men, we live in such a comfortable world. This infrastructure was built because of men. Okay? I have a friend who he is a plumber's apprentice, and we're not the ones down there digging sewage systems. We're not the ones down there laying pipes so we can be comfortable in our homes to flush the toilet. It's the men. When there's a hurricane and the lights go out, I don't see no woman getting up in them buckets and fixing the lights. I don't see no women driving plow trucks and cleaning the snow off the roads. We see, that's just it. We are so embedded in that we don't need a man. Man ain't shit. They use men for their resources, and then we wonder why they do the things that they do. So I'm going to respectfully disagree. And with that being said, Miss Polly, welcome to the show. I love when I have another woman here, because sometimes, I can get ambushed. You know what I'm saying? And I have to take it. So Miss Polly, introduce yourself. Say anything so far on what you've heard, what you have to say on this.
Hi guys. Okay, well, yeah, I'm Miss Polly. I have, a YouTube channel called Miss Polly Wright, just like my name there. I usually talk about relationships and things like that on my channel, but obviously I am poly. I'm polyamorous by definition, but I kind of appear to be polyandry, which is a woman with more than one male partner. And the conversation today, I was listening to kind of talking about the dating atmosphere. That's what it sounds like. Are we, what are we looking for? How are we trying to find good partners? That's kind of what I took from it as I'm running around. So I apologize if you hear stuff in the background because I am at work. So I wanted to kind of just pop in and say hello and show respect to you because I haven't seen you yet. And
Thank you.
yeah. Okay. So quickly, I'll throw that in here before I get interrupted. But I think a lot of people are missing a big part. Just like Mr. Best was kind of saying. One of the things I always talk about is like thinking about what you want, what you need, and what you can give. I think people, if they really thought about those three major things, it would be very helpful in finding a partner. Which is very funny that I see a lot of people struggling with finding partners. Partners that are there for the intention of actually being with them, like, you know, to actually be there for a long term or whatnot. I do see the struggle is real out there. I actually don't have a problem with finding partners and finding partners that, you know, I stay with. It's very interesting to me, but I think a lot of it has to do with just, like Mr. Press was saying, kind of like the interpretation of what you want. A lot of people know what they want, but they don't know what they need, or they know what they need. Like I have to have this, this, and this, but they don't really know what they want. And another big one was, like I said, what you can give. I think a lot of people think, oh, well, I got to bring something to the table. It's not just that. It's about what you can give and what you cannot give. And just an example of that is some people, like who are very busy, they can give a lot of love in a short amount of time, but they may not be able to do it every day for 12 hours or whatever. And whatever the reason, they may work many hours. So time is valuable in short spurts for them. So someone who needs a lot of attention is not someone that should probably they should be with. And they'll just get with someone because they like them, because they have what they need, and they don't see what they can't give. So a lot of times those mismatches are, in my belief, is a real big problem when it comes to finding partners. And I'm not talking about the children out here play dating, you know, just running around just trying to get bodies because they think it's a video game. I'm talking about people who have real intent on finding someone to spend their life with. And that's different. You know, you start thinking about what you want to do with your life and who you want to spend it with. You need to take the time to really think about those things. So then you can find someone to very successful to be with. And then also, the last little part here, yeah, I think is really important, is knowing when to tell someone that it's not working. I think a lot of people hold on to relationships just to hold a spot and knowing like, this might work out for 3 months, but I don't see this long term. And you'll hold someone hostage. I call it hostage. And they could be finding their love of their life, but you're holding on just because you don't want to sleep at night by yourself. And that's really, selfish. These are very selfish acts. Like when I start dating people, sometimes, I'll start dating someone and I'll start seeing, oh, this ain't gonna work. And I can see it work for 3 months, but long term, this doesn't work. And I'll tell them, hey, listen, like we're not going the same way. And that's okay. Like no hard feelings. Like I'm good. Like that is a better, separation than waiting 6 months down the road and this person's planning on being with me for longer. And I knew already. And just because I just didn't want to be by myself, or, oh, he's good enough for now. And that's not the way we should work. So a lot of us are very selfish because we just want to make ourselves happy. And we're not worried about anyone else but ourselves. So that's my interpretation, to give you a little bit of rip. And you guys can reply. I'll be listening because my speaker will be bouncing back and forth.
Okay. And I appreciate your point of view, and you had a lot of good valid points, but let's get into, because over here, guys, I just don't talk about opinions. I do my research. I look up things. I give you statistics and references. So let's get into it. The broken heart. It's used to reference a state of extreme grief or sorrow, typically caused by the ending of a romantic relationship or romantic rejection. A broken heart feels so difficult and painful to deal with. The person often withdraws in their shell and is pushed into depression. A person with a broken heart often has episodes of sobbing, rage, and despair. They may not even eat or sleep for days and may neglect their personal hygiene. So there may be times where you have gone through this because of a person and don't even realize, or you couldn't frame it that it was a heartbreak. There's 4 stages of a heartbreak. situation, the number one is denial. Number two, then anger sets in. The number three, depression sets in. And then after that, acceptance sets in. And this is all according to the mentalhealthmatter.coms. And the final answer is yes, men do go through heartbreak no matter what they try to tell you. A man's subconscious mind may block certain emotional triggers while battling his repulsive emotion, mental anguish, and pain after the heartbreak. Men too often go through such phases and ensure they can move on and start a new life. It takes a guy usually 3 months to really lose the feelings of a breakup. In real life, men feel as they can't share the emotions of being heartbroken. That's another thing. You guys have been taught not to express emotions. You guys have been taught, oh, suck it up, man up. Y'all resilient. So what do? Y'all suppress everything. Y'all get into habits as drinking excessively, sleeping around, gambling, or working out excessively. You takes that pain and you use it as an outlet in other ways. You overeat. You get in that car and you speed. I mean, just stupid shit. And women do it too. But again, tonight it's about the men and they're brokenhearted. And it's a men retreat inward. They go into a solitary state of disconnection and are more likely to enter what I just spoke it, addictive states in the wake of grief. Again, excessive drinking, sexual suppress episodes, gambling, anything that suppresses the feelings of helplessness and depression. So with that being said, I kind of gave you the idea of what a man goes through during a heartbreak, but it was officially written down, True, and all the other men that said no, men don't go through heartbreak. Y'all get your hearts broken. Y'all just see it, view it, and deal with it in a totally different way. You might have been going through it, but you didn't know that that's what you were going through. So you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm going to go around the panel. I know I said a lot, and we're chewing on this slowly but surely, like Smitty is. You know, I love my dude.
Eating on
He
the
eats, he
can I
drinks, he smokes. He on a real live show. Fuck it, we still gotta live, right,
can
Smitty?
I say something about what you say a while ago?
Go ahead, say it.
All right. Yes, man go through heartbreak, right? Um, I I see a couple man here plus whoever typing in the group. I'm gonna ask a question. Any of these men ever really live with a female and say that she's your woman or your wife you're married to, and she go out there and get pregnant for next other guy? Anybody in this um platform it ever happened to? Any guys?
nope.
All right. The reason why I asked that question to see if any guys go through what I go through. Two female, two female I've been with who get pregnant with the next other guy. First one when I were in Jamaica, my second baby mother. She get pregnant for a married guy, and yes, it hurt me to know that my daughter does 8 months old and she go out there and get pregnant. It hurt me, and it mash up my daughter heart, meds and everything because she don't play a part in my daughter life. Because I take my daughter and I move on with my life at the age of 8 months old, going to 1 year old. I have my daughter live with me, and she have more kids after we part. But yes, it hurt me, and my daughter grow, never know her right mother, right? May my daughter's soul rest in peace. God, take her where, she died in a car accident at the age of 20. And, when she died, here comes the mother now. Don't play a part in that child life. Want to come and claim money and lawsuit money and whatever. Go to court, solve that problem. The next one happen is like me and my wife now. Come to America, live in America, married, you know. And always hear my wife. When I meet my wife, she have one son, while I have four kids, right? Four different baby mother. So she have one son. She turned to me and said, "Hey, she want the next child." I said, "Hey, listen, I know a 10-year older than you. You want to get the next child, but let us set the future first. Get a house, or buy two house, and live in one, rent out one." She go ahead and go behind my back, get pregnant for her next other guy. So what I see, I find out, say she pregnant. I take my house downtown and get myself divorced quick and fast. Cause I'm not gonna mind no jacket. I don't wear jacket. That shit very hurt. You live with a woman, you wake up with a woman, and because you give a woman space and say, hey, go enjoy yourself, give them space, you don't watch them, you don't watch their phone, you don't answer them phone, them don't answer your phone, you give them space. And then take the whole space, the whole length, and go out there and do stuff. So when you guys here I come on the platform and say, hey, expect in a relationship, have an open mind to a relationship. You can married, you can be Christian, you can do the best. Man out there get tempted, woman out there get tempted. So as the rest of the man them here, I know you guys maybe never go through what I go through, but have your eyes open. Do not talk about okay, yes, I love this girl. I really true because when you say you're deeply in love, you're gonna do stupidness. You're gonna maybe kill yourself, commit a suicide, or hurt she, or go behind bars. Behind jail, not pretty. So not my enemy. I would invite behind there. Okay. And the next thing I hear, the next female say early on, female do come into relationship and meet a guy and bring in the past. You see, once you hurt about your past, that damages your present relationship. It best when you start in a relationship, you don't want to know the person past and the person don't want to know your past because female do take that at the advantage to throw it back in your face, to say stuff to hurt you. Ladies do talk things to get the last of you to make you, get pissed off or something, right? So, as I said again, there are good people out there and there are bad. But I think the food nowadays we're eating is like there's no perfect relationship out there no more. I think something wrong with the food, or I don't know, or the hair is blowing out there. Yep.
Okay. Okay. I mean, you heard my. And by the way, guys, DJ Singh is one of the hottest DJs in South Florida and Jamaica. We go way back. So salute to you for coming to the show tonight and putting me in the group chat in Jamaica and everywhere. So I appreciate you. You trying to make me go global. So I'm coming, y'all. I'm coming. Just give it time. All in God's timing. All in God's timing. Okay. So with that being said, guys. I gotta holla at you about it because you were so true about your feelings about men don't get their heart broken. And I got this research from mentalmatters.com, and the final answer was yes, men do get their hearts broken. I gave you a definition, I gave you references. What do you have to say? I mean, I know you probably didn't change your mind, but now that you've heard it in that frame, what would you have to say now?
I'll answer it like this because I did digest what Smitty said earlier, and I think the way I assume we were talking about heartbreak in most cases, because I heard it echoed through a multitude of the men. We're speaking in a reference of romantic relationship. With that said, if you have an exchange with a parent, you have an exchange with a child, an affection, the effects of that loss, the effects of that disappointment can, I guess, feel like heartbreak, as it's described. What led me to my outlook on men not being able to be heartbroken, or I don't believe men get heartbroken, is because I had an episode at one point in my life that I would have assumed was going to create this so-called heartbreak because it was of the utmost treacherous, level of disrespect from a young lady that I cared about, I loved deeply. And what I've done just me personally, is anytime I've been in a state of emotions, I explore those emotions. I explore them honestly. I think, and I prefaced this when I started this, saying that to me, men and boys, if you talk to a boy, he is an unrefined, he is an he's not battle tested. He is not at a level of maturation to be able to even depict nor understand the full range of himself because he's adolescent. But when you become a man, there is an awareness about you. So the episodes of life as they happen, there's certain things that are going to recycle, certain things are going to regurgitate, whichever. Anyway, when this young lady, disrespecting me, I have to explore that. I have to sit on it, and I have to ask myself a series of questions over weeks to explore, is this what heartbreak is? What I concluded was that the disappointment I was having was fair. The thoughts I was having was fair. But what I gathered in that moment, which I'm so grateful for, is that this so-called heartbreak, in my opinion, is when a person assumes that you being in a relationship, the person that claims to love you, and they may, and you claim to love them, and you may, is incapable of imposing discomfort or disrespect, is incapable of bringing you lacking, like a lack of consideration. Because the way romantic relationships are tend to be advertised to us is that you love someone, and the person that claims to love you will never bring you discomfort, pain, hurt. They will prioritize you more than they prioritize themselves. That's not true. That's not even human. Even parents have shortcomings. Even your best friends have shortcomings. So in that experience for me, what that taught me was I will be, in my opinion, foolish to assign a position for any human to be able to prioritize me more than myself in the manner that they are incapable of something. And that's what has led me to still disagree with the article about it being heartbreak. If you lose a loved one, you're supposed to grieve. If you lose someone of value in that sense, absolutely it's going to affect you. But if we're operating from logic, as we all know, cycle of life. If your grandmother passed away at 86 years old, she's 86 years old. If someone got into a car accident, as tragic as it may be, we do understand people lose life. As a man, you understand this stuff. As a boy, you don't. But I digress.
Anybody else? Positive vibes. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. I don't know how much you've heard. I also have another person here that's new. I'm going to come to you. Positive vibes. What did you have to say? What you've heard so far?
I agree with a lot of it. Like, I really do feel men do experience hurt and pain as far as in romantic relationships. I just think they express it differently. We keep thinking that men are gonna express like, oh, they're not hurt because you looking at women look at it through their eyes. You're like, okay, you're not crying over me, you're not doing this, or you're not crying over that person or whatever. Men experience it, differently. So I understand that they do be hurt. And with that being said, I also think um, helping like a man cope with it is more difficult. Like with women, I guess we're more in tune and we communicate. I won't say better, but differently. Where we can be like, "I'm hurt. You did this, and this will make me feel better." We do things to kind of distract us, like girls' trip or spa day, shopping. Let me do a new look. Something is going to happen in order to get our mind off of their heartbreak, whereas men tend to do other things. I hope not negative. I was reading in the chat, like somebody was saying that they drank and went through other women in order to get over that pain. And I'm so sorry that they had to drink and find that way as to like self-medicate in order to find comfort in the pain that they were going through. But I also feel too that they was also saying men don't love. Men do love. The expression of love is differently. And then remember we had that show about love language. Even women, we all have our different way of showing love. So that's all I was adding to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't. The person with the picture with the lion, my names is not coming up. I don't. Who is that? The
That's That's Ruthless Truth. That's OG. I
Oh,
know what that is.
well, welcome to the show. Welcome to the panel. Thank you for coming. And what would you have to add on to this conversation? Because I knew this was going to be a good one. You know, but we have to learn. We have to learn that men go through stuff too. What do you have to add to this?
Y'all hear me?
Yep.
No. Y'all, well, I would say, do men get heartbroken? That's a top. Do men get their hearts broken? Simps. I ain't gonna say that's wrong. That's wrong. That's a joke. That's a joke. Do men get their heart broken? I mean, I would say we have to define what is heartbroken. I guess heartbroken means empty promises, broken promises. So do women lie? Yeah, does it hurt a little bit to some men? I can say so. I've seen a lot of men go to extreme of violence through this hurt, right? Yeah, so it's an emotional attachment which can be developed to a person built on promises, right? Built on hope of prosperity, emotional prosperity, not just financial, but emotional prosperity, right? And once a person feels betrayed, then it described as heartbroken. Now you want to break the person next to you, right? So we all, I guess one can say, do women need to understand that? It doesn't matter. We don't really care if you understand. But one thing about it, men do handle it much better than women in most cases. Not in all cases, but in most cases, right? And because we like let's say we have kids and she cheats on me or she deceived me or whatever, right? She leaves me, she walks. We just have a bad breakup. I always want my kids to be in touch with their mother, in tune with them. I never want to use the kids against them or manipulate my kids and not like them, right? Because if me and you didn't get along and you broke my heart, that's going to be between me and you. And we're going to have to, just bury that hatchet. But my kids come first in this matter, not my emotions. So I'm going to make sure that they have the best relationship with their mama as possible. I'm going to make it suitable for both of us. So in that aspect, being heartbroken, I think is sometimes needed. I'm taking this to a different level. Sometimes it's needed because men need to see that, right? To invest all your emotions and everything into this person is a gamble. It's not nothing for sure. Nothing's for sure here, right? So maybe it's a wake-up call. Maybe it's something, maybe you can build from that. I think it's good. I think it's kind of good when men to get heartbroken because it teaches them that everything ain't always what it seems. So it can be a lesson in this, right? Because in adversity, lessons come.
Ruthless. Can men get their heart broken, bro?
I just said it. I just said it. You know what I mean? I know it's a little tough for you to deal with. I mean, of course, men can get their heart broken. Like I said, this one is feel he's betrayed or deceived. It can be painful, right? So, but it can be lessons from that to grow. Growth comes from like you fall, you hurt a little bit, hurt yourself, get back up. What's that song, Aaliyah? Get back on your bike and try again. So yeah, men do get hurt. I've seen it, and it's just another part of life that happens here and there.
Okay, so Ruthless, I got some facts for you. Since you say about the men and the women, in terms of physical pain, women average 4.21 versus men 3.75. While breakup hits women hard emotionally and physically, women tend to recover more fully and come out emotionally stronger, whereas men, on the other hand, never fully recover. And it makes sense because once y'all get hurt like that, and a lot of y'all have told me, y'all become dogs, y'all don't love the same, y'all fuck that bitch, or and women ain't nothing but hoes. Men will always miss you. Generally, men miss valuable women soon. If you made a significant impact on his life, he will ultimately miss you. Also, if y'all usually engaged in activities together, he will feel your absence once he sees something related to that event. So the thing is, you guys a lot of times hold grudges and you make other women, and I'm not saying that women don't do this because you know we're guilty of this, but I'm kind of trying giving you a little pushback. Y'all penalize us and punish us for a lot of things that women have put y'all through, and then you put us in the same category.
Like how's that?
Okay,
I can agree with
if a
that.
woman has cheated on you, you automatically assume that all women are cheaters.
So that's
Oh,
If
not
they're
what,
all liars. Modern women, these Western women, you got to get your passport because they're all like this over here. Because I got my heart broken by one that was a Western woman. Yeah, I can
well,
see that.
I just like to respond to that a little bit. But you still
Go
want to
ahead.
embrace? Grace, did you want to say something else?
No, go ahead. I was done with that information.
Well, this is where we have to go our separate ways, right?
This
Because
is where we agree to disagree gracefully.
women typically use a system against the man, right? The
Yes.
man, like let's say the man, okay, I want to see my kids. Let's get it half 50. A lot of women no, right? They will push for no, just the weekend, every other weekend. Women weaponize the kids. This is historically undisputable. Women weaponize the kid against the man because women are more vindictive than we are. I'm not saying that we're not vindictive, but not as to the extreme that women are, right? Women will go to the grave. Now, you said an interesting statement. You said men don't let shit go, right? But I want to say that women are more vindictive and hold more grudges more. So because
You're right.
their hatred is spewed in more of a physical way. Like like I said, they're trying to make your life miserable. They don't want you to see your kids hardly. A lot of them don't. They when you come over, they're very very abrasive, very aggressive. Like, what do you want? What are you doing here? What do you know? That's how they express their hurt. It's not that they are trying to be like just violent. It's just they're hurt and they express the hurt more. They're emotional more. So
Absolutely, because we're emotional beings, but at the same time, can the man not take a little bit more accountability? You shot up the club. Did you vet that woman enough to have a baby with her? Did you marry her before making her a baby mama? I mean, I can't always just get on the women. Yes, I advocate for men, but
yeah.
a lot of men make a lot of careless mistakes and then wonder why she act like that.
I will say this to your point, Grace. I did throw a disclaimer in my statement, right? I said I've seen these men go to extreme violence, delete a woman. I made that disclaimer off the top. So
Okay.
I have seen men, right, get super depending on the man, especially if he's a gangster, right, or has a very strong personality in his respect, and he feels that his woman disrespects him. It could get really ugly. But I will say this, right? Vetting.
Nah, that's some whole shit. That ain't got nothing to do with gangster.
Well, I
That's
would
some
say,
whole ass pussy sucker bitch made shit. And any
okay,
nigga that do that, yeah, let that nigga fry.
okay. So that's something. But I will say this to your point, Grace,
Mm-hmm.
that you said vet better or pick better or see it. This is the one thing people don't understand. Every time you meet someone and try to start building or whatever, it's still a gamble.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a
You
guarantee.
get
So
that switch and bait.
what are
The
you
bait and
vetting,
switch.
or what are you courting, or what are you looking extra long? That doesn't mean that she's not going to divorce you 5 years down the line. That doesn't mean that he's never ever going to sleep with another woman, right? It doesn't mean that you guys are not going to argue and fight, right? Vetting really is pointless, right? Because it's all a gamble. We all shoot the dice. When I meet a woman, I don't really know what her heart's saying. I don't really know what's in. I can't read her mind. I'm going to only assume that she's being transparent with me. I can only hope that she holds to her words that she's sharing with me. Okay? And this is something like, but I always have that side of me like, well, what if she just changes, right? Because we all know happiness is subjective, right? And women lean on happiness more than men, right? Men lean more on duty. So yes, do we have our weaknesses as men? Yes. Come on, man. Women, that apple of our eye. Yeah, will we shoot up the block? Yes, we will. That may have to give them consequences, right? But at the same time, understandably, both of us are human. Both of us has feelings and emotions. Now, women are emotions, granted, but men, we still have, imperfections about us that we just sometimes we like black out. So this is why it's good for women not to argue with a man. It's good not to be combative to a man. So maybe that we can avoid this altogether, or maybe men and women need to learn to communicate better together. So because hurt comes from, once again, a disappointment, some sort of disappointing atmosphere, or something that's really betrayal, right? These are the things that can really lead to a very unstable household. So once again, we both have to hold accountability. We both have to be responsible for our own actions. There is no doubt about that, right? There is no question about that. But just the thing about it, men are held accountable, right? Because if he goes and shoot up the club, he's going to jail. If he goes and beat that woman up, he's going to most likely go to the prison bars. And of course, don't hold him accountable, right? But women, right? You guys get away with accountability, right? Because everybody's gonna come to your aid. Oh girl, you know you better than him. You better than that. You can do better than that. Self-love, right? Oh, and he shouldn't even be talking to you like that. You didn't tell him that you started though. You didn't tell him that your part in this play, right? Because it's all a movie, right? And then we sit here and want to finger point each other, but at the end of the day, men, accountability is very harsh on us from society in general.
I agree.
But
I,
women,
I
you guys slide through like like a pretty penny. All you gotta do is cry. All you gotta do is show that tear.
I
And
want to
everybody,
I want to ask the ladies a question when you finish, okay?
I think he was done. DJ Sting, go ahead. Ask me and Lena. What do you have to ask?
Earlier, I asked the man a question, right? So the ladies have time now. Ladies, have you ever think about um a guy meet a female and that female used to certain things, used to certain lifestyle of a past relationship? She been spoiled, and guys, flood her with money or whatever. And now she meet a simple little guy who want to start life from scratch and say, okay, try to build a relationship. But because she's spoiled and she used to, driving Lamborghini and all those stuff, it's like it's so hard to break out of to start back from scratch and to build a relationship with somebody who is just a normal 9 to 5 job, going out there working and try to build a life together and start from scratch. There are ladies out there who are spoiled, right? There are ladies out there who their past relationship does like make them mind set certain ways. So starting a new relationship with this new guy is like they expect the simple guy is supposed to climb that ladder in 2 days or in 1 month and be like the past. No, it cannot work. Ladies, you guys have to think way out of the box. If you guys are really gonna be there for the man and really thinking about to start from nothing to something. I meet females out there where their past relationship or their husband, each time they're going out or going to the supermarket or whatever, guys come around, pull door for them. Right? Our husband pull door for every move and make, pull door. Pull the car door. Open the car door for her. Make she go sit down, lock by the car door. Then, for me and she going on a date, that was so annoying to me because that's something I never know. And I not say no, but don't used to. I used to pull a door for a lady. Don't go into a building before a lady. That is a gentleman thing. I know about that. Used to that. But if I come out of the car 10 times, me have to come around the driver's side and come to the passenger side, pull the door. That's what she used to. That's it's really
That
annoying.
that's excessive to you. I mean, as a woman, I like when my door is opened, but it doesn't have to be every time. If we're running errands and we're doing this,
Every
maybe
time.
the first time you open it, and then but I can understand how it can be annoying. But how many of us women open the door for our men and go? And do y'all pass that test? I know y'all seen that movie from the Bronx Tale. Do y'all women in the chat? Do y'all ever, instead of jumping on the phone when you get in the car, do you ever reach across and unlock the car door for your man and open the door for him? How many of y'all do that?
But Grace,
Um,
that's. Can I say something, Grace?
yeah,
That's a. But see, y'all, hey, man, y'all
I
so
do it.
cute.
I do it.
Y'all
Not
so
every time.
y'all so cute, man. I love how y'all talk, man. Y'all so cute. I love it. Look, man, that stuff is elementary though, man. Opening doors, that's elementary. Like the real questions is this, right? There's some real questions. Like, yo, Smitty laughing because you know I'm about to go in. The real question is this, like when I get sick, are you gonna be there? You know what I mean? If I'm not able to work and I need you to take care of me for about a year, maybe longer, because I'm dealing with an illness, will you be there? And I'm talking about both men and women, right?
I hear you.
You know what I mean? Will you come to the doctor's office with me? You know what I'm saying? If I can't remember something, will you help me get my memory back? If I can't walk, will you help me walk? If I'm going through a depression because both my parents have died within a year's time, will you go to counseling with me? You know what I'm saying? Like these are the real questions. Opening the door and all that, that's easy. Anybody can do that. A child can do that. You know what I mean? The real questions
Do
I want
that.
to know
No,
is
the real question.
is you going to be there when things really get difficult?
Listen,
Those
we
are the
do
questions
that.
people need to be asking. And those are not the questions that people are asking. So when we really get in the mix of things, then we're surprised because we're like, oh man, yeah, they did all this nice stuff, but now I'm going through something real and they can't even handle it because you never even talked about these things, let alone really dealt with anything real. You ain't really you ain't really have no real as a seasoned boxing fighter has always said, you haven't had no real fights. You ain't really been through nothing yet.
No.
You know what I mean? When you
Do
start,
that. To do that, female will do that. Trust me. Female will
when
do
you
that the
start
best time.
when you really start going through stuff, then yeah, then that's when you really can see where your relationship is at. You know what I mean? And vice versa. You know what I mean? Because there may be a time she going through something, she just had a baby, and she's going through postpartum. You know what I mean? Can you really deal with that as a man? Where your woman wants to hurt your own child because she's going through postpartum. And it's not something she can control, but she needs help. She needs counseling. Or you want to sit there and go through counseling with her, or you're going to start thinking that she's an evil chick. You know what I mean? Or a witch, or the other word. You feel what I'm saying? Like, these are the real questions, man, that we don't be asking.
I, I I agree because a lot of people are in these microwave relationships, but as soon as the shit hits the fan, everybody want to scram. And you're right because nobody's used to putting in the work because everybody has so many options now. You know what I'm saying? If one is mad and one is not acting right, I'll go to the next. Oh, I'll go to the next. Oh, she's not doing this for me. I'll go to her. I absolutely agree with you. We don't have those, and like me and Gary always say, those necessary hard conversations. And you're right. We talk about bullshit right nowadays. Birkin bags and cars and jewelry. What's your credit score? How can I build with somebody with a 300 credit score? Okay, let's work on that. What can I do to help on your credit score?
Looks don't need a credit score, Gracie.
Huh?
Looks don't need a credit score, and that's how a lot of them think. We already know that. That's what I'm saying. These
Uh,
things are not thought about. All right. As long as you fresh to death, and as long as they hitting you up in your DM, see, their credit score is their DM. Their credit score is their OnlyFans account. That's the credit score. You need to see how many other niggas is on this twat, this coup de tang the way you need to be, sir. That's the mindset. Okay. So when you have that headspace going on, that's how you're gonna get a whole bunch of dysfunctional shit when it comes to that aspect. When it comes to the women, fellas, we got our own bullshit going on with us. I digress. My mic is muted. Rock out.
I just want to answer the guy who's talking about how, if he's broke with stuff or whatever. I I felt like I actually dated a man like that, and he was going to school. Like I would date somebody that has potential, and also who's I will also, just because you have money doesn't mean that you're financially responsible. I know people who make six figures, a little bit more, and they live like they broke because they live beyond their means. So I would rather date somebody who has potential and financially responsible. And even though my ex, he was toxic, he was going to school, he finished afterwards. I had to break up with him due to drinking. But, he ended up making six figures, and he's actually very financially responsible. He just can't put the bottle down. Um, but back into the opening doors, he was like that. He always opened the door. And another thing he did, he used to walk me to my car and greet me. I could not. I didn't mind. I understood it. But one day I was running late, and I didn't have time to wait on him to walk me to the car. So I ran to the car and drove to work. He was so hot and heated. It took 2 days to get over there. He was like, "Don't you know? I told you you're not um, following what the directions. Like I'm your man, and I'm supposed to protect you because I leave at night. I work at night." And he was like, "If I set these rules, how am I able to protect you? You taking away my manhood by doing that. That's very disrespectful." I'm like, okay. Another thing too, he is half Mexican, so he has like a lot of Latin Latino like
It's called
culture.
machismo.
Yeah,
Machismo.
machismo. Yes, he said that. Yes, he had a lot of that going. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm sorry. I apologize.
And
But
that's why I don't date Spanish men. But we got a newcomer. We got Mr. Sean
welcome.
here. I mean, we coming in hot tonight, Smitty. Sean, how you doing tonight? Thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up.
Thank
I don't know how much you have listened to the show, but what say you?
Well, I did comment on the question as far as do men get their feelings, do men get hurt, hearts broken? Absolutely, they do. But then you started talking just now in reference, there was a lot of things that were spoken, but one thing that I was going to address, the gentleman just said, never mind those little questions, let's get to the hard questions. And I agree with that. But the point is, those little questions show signs that lead up to those answers to the hard questions. That if you don't have enough consideration for the little things, it's like if you're telling a small lie, then when it comes down to stress and those things that you was just referring to, a big lie will come easily. So if you would pay attention to the small lies, it might prepare you on what not to get into. And so therefore we can go ahead and as we were speaking about vetting earlier, we have a better vetting system. And what happens with our vetting systems, both man and women, is we don't look for the small things. We have a premise of some big things or a premise of things. So we could really identify a lot of different characteristics pretty easily and quickly if we paid attention to the small things. But unfortunately, we just don't.
I agree with you. So you're saying that the little things add up to the big things. If they're not mindful of the little things, what makes you think they're going to be mindful of the big things?
That,
Did I interpret what you said correctly?
Yeah, that's portion. That's a portion. I'm not saying it that directly. I'm saying that if we pay attention to little things, like I said, I tell people all the time. They say, "Well, how did I know he was full of it? How did I know it's a gamble?" Easy, because if you paid attention to little lies that they might have said, for example, that a man he talking to his he's sitting with his lady and his homeboy called. And his homeboy, you can hear ask him, well, what you doing? He say, nah, nothing. I'm just doing, I don't know. I'm just here watching TV. And he doesn't acknowledge that he's here with this lady, which is real simple to do as well. And it deserves the same amount of respect. If you pay attention to that little detail, he just made up a little lie just for the moment, then that means that when it comes to big things where it's more value to him, he's gonna lie easier. He's gonna lie more quickly. And so therefore you can come to the conclusion he's a liar. And if you ain't looking for a liar, then that might not be the man for you. And you could have identified that pretty simply just by paying attention to his movements, as well as with women. You could pay attention to their movements and you can gather a lot of information that can help you to say, you know what? Nah, she look good, but I ain't messing with that, because that's gonna be a headache in the long run.
Let me break it down, Grace. If I mean, let me break it down, right? Because clearly I'm misunderstood, right? So when I'm talking about the small things and big things, so yeah, maybe a guy, he may not be as swaggy as some, or he may not be the most snappy dresser, but he gonna pay every damn bill in that house. He gonna make sure the house is clean. He gonna make sure your laundry done. He gonna make sure you have a cooked meal if you've been working a bunch of hours. You know what I'm saying? You know, he may not talk or be so emotionally vulnerable or things of that nature. But hey, when it comes to taking care of your siblings or taking care of your parents, man, that guy's there. He's A1. He gonna make sure your mom is all right, and vice versa. She may not be, you know what I mean, she may not wear a lot of perfume, or she may be socially awkward. But man, that woman, yeah, hey, look, when you need help with your business, she was there. She looked up different websites. She looked up different businesses. She was there A1 with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about, from the small to the big. Now, I'm not saying I just pay attention to small character detail. That's a different argument completely. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm talking about. So, of course, you want to pay attention to that. But even in paying attention to that, what I just want people to know is this, right? And it's a news flash, and maybe you don't notice, or maybe you should, but it's a news flash if you don't. You're not going to find a perfect person. I'm going to just say it again. You're not going to find a perfect person. And anybody that you deal with, they're gonna disappoint you on some level at some time. That's just life. You know what I mean? Life is on life.
Yeah, you're not gonna find a perfect.
And we hold on. And when we get with these people, whether we're a man or a woman, when we get these people, we always expect these people to be these perfect people, and they're not.
They're not. No, nobody's perfect.
And then we expect, but then we also think that we got to be this perfect person, and we not. You know what I'm saying? We don't even have a perfect relationship with our creator or with the people that brought us here, which is our parents. They're not even perfect, and they birthed us here. They brought us into this world. You know what I mean? And we don't even have a perfect relationship with them. No, we have a perfect relationship with God or our creator, whoever we believe in. But we expect a person to come out of nowhere and have a perfect relationship? We delusional, man. Wake up. Stop being so delusional and live in reality, man. We don't live in reality.
To your point, to your point, to your point, the reality is that understanding perfection is not, doesn't exist. That's a reality. And if we don't understand that, you're right, we're delusional. That perfection, that doesn't exist in anybody. So that's not what we're looking for. Actually, that's perfect understanding that there is no perfection. So that's a perfect thing. And disappointment comes from expectation. So you're right to that point as well. If you have expectation, you will get disappointed. So what we need to try and work on is limiting our expectations so that we don't find ourselves in disappointing scenarios time and time again. That will lead us to the point of heartbreak. That will lead us to the point of dysfunction.
Hey, let I adjust what you say about the hard question. What you said earlier and need to ask, right? About if she will be there for you in the hospital when you're sick, or she will be there at your sick bed or whatever. A female, they when you meet a female, right? And they wall up there, their guards up there, meaning they are past relationship, what she coming out of, whatever. The last thing a woman hang on is their coochie. They do everything, you and they talk, you and they go dating, party, whatever. And once you have sex with a female, it's like the table turn, the world change, because you're like she into you now. She let down her guard, okay? Unless is a female, she does see you as a one night stand and move on. Because you got female out there, see guys out there, and yeah, it's just a one night stand and move on. But if she really and truly want to be with you and she say, okay, this is the guy I want to be with, once she let down her guard, and you have sex with her, and maybe have sex for a second time, yes, she will climb that mountain for you. She will be at your sick bed. You understand? But as I said earlier on when I made my speech earlier on, what mash up relationship and what really hurt is communication and compromise. Communication is a lot to relationship. When a woman doing stuff and not communicate, and thus as I said earlier on, a man there not communicate, and you say the small thing with lie, that come with communication too, right? Because yeah, you have some guys out there. It's not about the small lie, but you have some guys out there, them bridging call, because I do it too. My bridging call, me not really want him to know say what the hell may I do or whatever. Yeah, my business. If me I chill with my woman, my business. You don't need to know that. All that gonna benefit you or whatever. But you know, people look on things different. Because as you said, she can look on it, okay, the two of them chilling. Why you don't say, oh, I'm here with my girl, I'm here with my wife, right? But in the guy head, he's just thinking, say, okay, him friend call, him too nosy, him too fast, him don't need to know what the hell I'm doing right now, okay? But as I said, communication is the key to a relationship, you understand? And once a female let down their guard, right, have sex with you, she will do anything. But you see, once the trust is not there no more, hell pop loose. And any communication not there, and a woman start tell a lie, hell pop loose. It's hard to fix back.
Absolutely. So, guys, I want to go over. I put the post up on Facebook. Do men get their heart broken? So I wrote down every comment that I got, and some of them were all right, some of them were stupid, some of them were ignorant. But I just want the men to hear, to see what y'all have to say about it. The first one was, "This is why y'all get cheated on right here." Nah, we not cyborgs without feelings. We just don't feel. We have no feelings. WTF. That was a comment. One said, "Seriously?" Another one said, "Absolutely." Another one said, "A few times, but I promise I keep it moving. One monkey can't stop this show. I am a lion tamer." Another one said, "Tin Man, baby." Yes, we do. Yes. Yes, we do. I think the difference is we know when to leave it alone. Getting burned by a hot stove, we only need to be burnt once, maybe twice, to know not to touch it again. For sure. Then my heart started pumping Kool-Aid. Then it was the first and the last time. And yes, it will never happen again. Hashtag lesson learned. You, these are the comments from the men from the post that I put on Facebook. Do men get their hearts broken? And there was a lot of, it was from one spectrum to another. Some said yes, some said absolutely, some said fuck it. Yeah, I got hurt, but it'll never happen again. I mean, is this a normal reaction to y'all men? And we could go around the panel, and then we're gonna kind of close it up, because anybody that knows me, I try not to go over 2 hours, because if you do the research, most people attention span starts wandering, after 2 hours, and it kind of gets stalled out. So with that being said, let's go around the panel, and you guys tell me what you guys think of the statements that the guys said on Facebook. Let's start with Smitty.
Grace gave us the scientific reason as to why niggas stupid. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, Grace. Look, it's real simple. The fact is, if a man is capable of love, just to simplify it, right? Which I know what I'm capable of. I can't really talk for a lot of these other dudes out here. Most of the men nowadays, honestly, I cannot relate to. I really do not even know how to address half of the dumb, goofy shit they say and do. I'm just being honest. I don't know where y'all find these niggas at. I'm dead ass. So I'm just saying, yes, we're capable of having our heart broken. and things of that nature. It's just for the simple fact that we are capable of feeling beyond what most people would say. Now, yes, it's very true. I'm definitely still sticking and standing on when I say no. No grown ass man should cry in public and none of that little, none of that whole shit. No, go off somewhere and weep on your own. Come back to the rest of the group when you get your shit together. All right. That's just how I believe. That's how I roll. I'm pretty sure we all have our own views on things, right? But so I'm not saying it as far as like, men need to come out and really express their emotional side because I don't agree with that shit. No, because then that's when they see the cracks in your armor and then that's when that king is overthrown. But I'm just simply saying that, yes, we can be hurt. Yes. Why? Because, a lot of times when dudes go into relationships that we take to be serious, like, yo, y'all have no idea how much we really start envisioning me and you later on in life type shit. Like we real deal start to like adjust our lives to you being in it. A lot of men don't just, introduce anybody to at least I don't. I just don't introduce anybody to my peoples. I'm up here introducing to you to like, this is my best friend, my brother, even my, my parents, my daughter, whoever. I trust and believe. I'm only doing that because I'm thinking you about to be here and you're in the circle now. I don't look, I don't have no tourist visitor guest passes. You can walk through the museum. So when I do all of those things, hell yeah, in my head, I'm thinking this shit is about to be solid. So for a lot of guys, it is very disappointing when it come to find out the fuck, man, why I just do all of that? So yes, we can have our heart broken. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Go ahead, rock out, Wally.
Wally, are you there? He may be busy.
He just tagged me in as if that was supposed to be like I'm supposed to be the one to go next.
Yeah, you are.
Listen. This is WWE. You got to come off the top turnbuckle. I need the
That's not
ball,
how this
Wally.
works. That's not how this works. Okay, that's not how this works. I don't know how this works, Smitty. But I got you, man. Oh man. Oh snap. Okay, yeah, Grace, hit me with it again because there are so much things that being said to the point that I'm trying to like juggle all this.
Well, right now, what we're going over were the comments that were left under my post on Facebook about do men get their heart broken, and there were a lot of different kinds of reaction. There was seriously, I mean, like they were asking me, was I seriously asking that question? And I was. People don't understand that I ask questions on my platforms to get intel and perspectives and bring it back to the show. I mean, I'm doing my research. I'm not on the road outside interviewing people, but I'm kind of doing it on social media. So with that being said, there was a one that said a few times, but I promise I keep it moving. One monkey can't stop this show.
Yeah, I'll need you to repeat the comments. I heard the comments. Okay. I just want to rehash the question.
Like, what do you think of the comments that some of these men said? Are those, do you agree with them? Is that the norm? You know?
Can I ask Wally a question real quick?
Oh Lord, have mercy! Let me get in here. Then you can ask the question after. Let me get in here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, look, I'll say this right. For some of what the men say, yeah, I get that part, right? Yeah, for some of it, like, yeah, right. I've been through it before. Yeah, it happened. I work on never trying to get it again. Cool. As far as the rest of it, that was just like, okay, it seemed like they're looking at you like, are you ignorant? And that's how it sort of sounds off to me. Like when they said, are you serious? Like in some of those statements, like no one can ask a genuine question. But yeah. But just overall, but if I say this, right? Because I know you mentioned the questions you made beforehand, like when you was breaking down heartbreak and the cycles of it all.
Uh-huh.
Because I know you sort of took a little jab and said, yeah, I mean, I over here saying that, yeah, I don't, but that's not what this study say. Well, technically, I actually agree with the study because what did I said? I said, I don't believe it as the word for heartbreak, but I did say that it was emotional warfare, which pretty much what it broke down. So, yeah.
Okay. I need to address this comment because me and Travel One are having our own shit over here while I'm doing the show. She said, embrace the grace. The wife does her for her husband, girls and boys. Again, the woman is the prize. Men were built to work. No, men built to work and provide and love his wife, family, and humanity. That's his assignment. Okay, we all know that on this side. My question to you is, what is your assignment? We all, a lot of women like to talk about what men are supposed to do, but I want to know, do you know as a woman, what is your assignment? See, we grow up always telling what men need to do for us and what they need to do, but we're not taught what we need to do to men and for men. So I'm just putting that out there, Travel One. What's your assignment? I mean, you're really good and well versed on what men are supposed to do, but let me hear what you think what women are supposed to do. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and Soap, since Lena has a question, I'm gonna let her ask the question and then she can rock out with it and then we'll come back to you, okay?
My question,
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
he actually answered. I wanted to know because I know Wally is like probably the youngest person up here. I wanted to know, was he ever in love or whatever? That's what I was curious about.
Oh wow, she want to go there.
Were
Yep.
you young?
So
I know
Wally,
you
were
like
you
to
ever in love before?
Oh Lord have mercy. She wanted to go there for all
Inquiring
things.
minds want to know.
Acquiring minds can know about this in the back chat. I ain't putting that story out.
Okay.
I ain't gonna reply to that.
So with that being said, Lena, go ahead and wrap it up, final thoughts and all that good stuff.
I think we should be more mindful of heartbreaks, and if we broke someone's heart unintentionally, or that if heaven forbid intentionally of what they go through, and just because you don't visually see it or hear it doesn't mean that they're not going through it. And heartbreak looks different on other people. We just should be mindful and try to cause as less harm as possible. That's my mindset on it.
Okay, back to you, Soap.
So I'm just giving final thoughts.
Okay, yep.
Okay. Overall, we just need to focus on what's important in relationships, and just really understand that being considerate and trying to put our best foot forward is all we can do. We're gonna make mistakes. We're all gonna mess up. We're all gonna go through things, or maybe be in a season where we're not doing our best. You know what I mean? And then we're gonna be in a season where we're doing fantastic and everything is working out. You know what I mean? Life is a roller coaster. Enjoy the ride. You know what I mean? And find somebody who wants to enjoy the ride with you. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, and then Sean, go ahead and say what you got to say. Guys, don't drop off when I'm doing my final thought because, I want you guys to close out with me, okay? I appreciate it.
All right. You asked a question about the Facebook comments, and to me, I understood those Facebook comments all said that yes, men can be heartbroken. Then they described on ways that they would deal with that heartbreak, or they have dealt with that heartbreak, or they made the notion that, of course, like the seriously was implying that, yeah, of course we get heartbreak. So all of those answers to me were yes, we do get heartbreak. But to a point that was made by the young lady you was having a conversation with offline, and her saying that the woman is the prize. The woman is not the prize. The man is not the prize. The prize is the relationship between the man and the woman being successful.
Thank you.
Ooh.
And we need to really understand.
I need to clip that. Wally, we need a clip.
Gotcha.
That was good. That was good, Sean. Thank you. And any final thoughts? I mean, you kind of like landed it real hard right there, but if you got another one, we good.
I mean, that was a final thought to the things that were going on, but I think that we need to, as a lot of people said on here, need to learn to communicate honestly a lot better. Precious is a friend of mine, and she always says HOT, which is honest, open, and transparent. And I think that we lack in having honest, open transparency, and that leads to us not trusting each other. Not trusting each other leads to us not having great relationships, and here we are.
Okay, you know I'm writing that down, right? I'm putting that in my pipe and I'm gonna smoke it.
Enjoy.
Transparency.
Smoke on.
Okay. All right, guys. This was a good show. And to tell you the truth, it was very therapeutic for more people than you may realize. So with that being said, on my final thoughts on this is men definitely get their hearts broken and even become cold as fuck. Men are always emotional beings, and men are also emotional beings and may be paired due to heartbreak up and being heartbroken. Each man uses different coping techniques to cope with the loss, while some move on faster and others may need time. Again, human. Men are human. They're allowed, to move fast. You got to respect people's spaces. For too long, men have been regarded as resilient, emotional tough, heartbreakers. But please, ladies, men, it's not I know we tend to go with a lot of gender, men and women, but it's really a human thing. Just like Sean said, the prize is the relationship between both of us. Men hurt by grief, betrayal, and loss as much as anyone. It's time to appreciate, value, and respect men. So not only will, and then Psalms 147:3, the Bible says the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and heals the brokenhearted. So not only will God provide comfort as you move on from the past relationship, but he'll actually help you do it. We all hurt. We all have had our hearts broken. It's a part of life. 10% is what happens to us, 90% is how we react. So guys, be good to each other. Pray for each other. Thank you for coming up here. It means more than you guys will realize. Help me get to my 500 subscribers for 2024.
Can I say
I
something?
appreciate all the good conversation. DJ Sting, thank you for taking me there. Fam, Lena, Sean, welcome. Always, Wally, Smitty, A1. Thank you again. Thank you for embracing me. Check it out next Thursday, Saturday. We here. We coming. Thank you again, guys. Take care.
Okay, everybody leaving now.
Salute to you all. Thanks for having me.